Hello and welcome to what's now going to be known as Turtlegate. Michael Bay ticked off the entire fandom of Ninja Turtles last weekend when he said this. Kids are going to believe one day that these turtles do exist when we are done with this movie. These turtles are from an alien race and they are going to be tough, edgy, funny, and completely lovable. With that statement, Michael Bay set off a humongous controversy that's actually been very interesting to follow over the past week. Now, I being a turtle fan myself, I'm not particularly interested in the idea of the turtles coming from another planet, or there being an entire race of them. That kind of defeats the purpose of them being mutants, don't you think? But I'm also willing to wait and see what comes out of this, and at least until the trailers come out, to get an idea of where they're going with this, because from an alien race could mean many things. Now, this controversy has continued all week because the fandom has been in an uproar. I mean, there has been an entire wave of negativity sent towards Michael Bay over the past week. Even in the first 2 days, there were so many, I've seen so many posts everywhere where the turtles, where Michael Bay has been totally, there's been people going nuts with this. Interestingly enough, in a letter, Robbie Rist, who voiced Michelangelo in the first 3 live-action Ninja Turtles, had this to say to Michael Bay. He said he was sodomizing the beloved franchise with his alien approach. I know believing in mutated talking turtles is kind of silly to begin with, but am I supposed to be led to believe that they are ninjas from another planet? The rape of our childhood memories continues. Now, with that being said, several other actors from the original live-action films gave their reactions on this particular announcement by Michael Bay. And they are on the other side of the coin here. Brian Tochi, who voiced Leonardo in the 90s movies, said this: if Michael Bay wants to do a different take on the Turtles' origin story, mazel tov. And also Judith Hoag is a supporter of Michael Bay because she's been in a couple of things that he's produced. So, now we have the actors getting into this. And in the middle of the week, there was on the blog of Peter Laird, the co-creator of Ninja Turtles, he wrote a whole big diatribe on his blog about this particular announcement. I would actually encourage TMNT fans to swallow the chill pill Mr. Bay recently suggested they take and wait and see what might come out of this seemingly ill-conceived plan. It's possible with enough truly creative brain power applied to this idea, it might actually work. I'm not saying it's probable or even somewhat likely, but it is possible. And he added sarcastically, the reason I say it could be a genius idea is that for the first time, someone has come up with a way to have as many turtles as they want. I mean, if the TMNT are actually members of an alien race, there could be a whole planet of them. I'm not too particularly interested in that idea. And what he's referring to in there, Michael Bay had a response on his blog to the Turtle fans where he said that they need to chill and relax, that he's going to try to remain faithful to what made them fans as kids, and that they need to calm down, they haven't read the script. You're correct, we haven't read the script, but we are fans of this property. You should be trying to appease us and, you know, try to make it for us. I don't understand why he doesn't want to make it for the fans. Most film directors want to make a film that has a large fan following for the fans. I mean, that just seems to be a no-brainer, but who knows? Now, the latest bit of news on this, Kevin Eastman, the other co-creator who has remained silent for the majority of the week, has now come up front with something of his own.
Sorry to have been away for so long, completely swamped with work, but it's some pretty exciting stuff. I had been invited to check out the TMNT film development by my friend Scott Mednick over the years, and a while back had a full look behind the curtain at what writers Applebaum and Nemec, director Liebsman, and producer Bay are doing, and trust me, it is awesome. I'm officially on board and will share more as I'm allowed. Thanks to all.
Now, it's interesting that he says he's only been allowed to take a look at things because Michael Bay says he has one of the creators helping him, and it doesn't sound like Eastman's really helping him. And we know Laird's not helping him because Laird's not involved in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle property anymore since he sold it to Nickelodeon a few years ago. So this is very interesting so far. And it's just funny, I took the title Turtlegate because IGN has actually coined it as Turtlegate, and I think that's hilarious. But my personal opinion is, I have been afraid for this movie ever since I heard Bay was attached as producer and his Platinum Dunes. Because if you look at their track record, it's not that great, really. I mean, he's done the Transformers movies, and I'm not going to really go into great detail about them right now and my opinions on them. If you want to know about them, you can check out my reviews from over the summer when the third film came out. Suffice to say, not a big fan of those films. I like the first one, the other two, not so much. Then we get into the Platinum Dune stuff. And there's quite a few franchises there that I'm a fan of, and many people are fans of, that they did remakes for, and they weren't very successful. At least in fans' eyes. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original is a classic. The remake, I actually enjoy. A lot of people do not. Friday the 13th, same thing. I kind of like it. A lot of people don't. Amityville Horror. I totally hate that one. Didn't get a big following. I like the original. I wish that even though I wish that since they called it a true story that they would at least try to be somewhat faithful to the book. But it's obvious to me that they didn't even bother to read it. So, and they didn't even try to get the Lutz family involved to make it as accurate as possible. So, yeah, that one not a big fan of. And then there's Nightmare on Elm Street. Once again, if you want to know my thoughts on that one, I did a whole review on that on Halloween. Check that out. Suffice to say, I hate that movie. That movie single-handedly killed the Nightmare franchise. So yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Michael Bay or his ideas. I'm really not looking forward to seeing, if it's anything like the Transformers, I'm really not looking forward to seeing it because I do not want to see racist turtles. I do not want to see a film that focuses more on human characters than the mutants because, like the Transformers movies where they spent way too much time on the human characters and didn't develop the Transformers as characters at all, aside from Optimus Prime. I mean, the other ones you could interchange with any other Transformer and it wouldn't have made a difference. I mean, hell, the Decepticons all look like Megatron anyway, so it's not that big a deal. So, in conclusion, I don't have a whole lot of faith in this production so far. I mean, I'm hoping things turn around. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt and wait and see at least a trailer or something that indicates exactly where these turtles are going to be from, if they are aliens, or if they're going to try and go with maybe what was used in the original Mirage comics from '84, where they did use the ooze, like all the other incarnations, but the ooze had an alien origin. It was developed by a race of creatures known as Utroms that looked like little brain things, and they lived in the stomachs of mechanical bodies, which is what inspired the 1980 cartoon's main villain, Krang, who is supposedly, I use that loosely, supposedly the villain for the new movie. There's a lot of rumors speculating that he's the villain. So I'm just saying that. He's speculated as being the villain. And if that's true, that could be the launching off point. He could be an evil Ultron. I'm hoping that's the case. That would be a really cool way to bring him into a more serious universe if that's what they're going for. I don't know. But for now, that's it for this edition of Turtlegate, and I'll see you next week for next edition. Good night.